All rise. We will wait. The International Criminal Court is now in session. Audiencia del Corpo now International, 8 word. Please be seated. Veuillez vous asseoir.
Thank you very much. Court officer of the case, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. The situation in the Republic of Kenya in the case of the prosecutor against William Samuel Ruto and Joshua Arap Sang. ICC 0109-0111. We are in open session.
Thank you. Appearances?
Morning, Your Honours. For the prosecution, appearances remain the same.
Good morning, Your Honours. On our side, our appearance remains the same. Thank you.
Good morning, Your Honours. Mr. Sang's team remains the same. And so does that of Mr. Ruto. Thank you.
Thank you. A witness, welcome back. And Mr. Njuguna in Nairobi, we note your appearance on the record as well.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Witness, we're happy to have you back. Unfortunately, we could not continue yesterday because of technical difficulties in the literal sense. We're glad to be continuing today. Mr. Yesiya?
Morning, Your Honours. Indeed, but for the rest of the examination of this witness, Your Honour, I'd ask to go back into private session, and I don't so foresee us coming back out of private session given the nature of the topics that I'm going to be dealing with this witness.
How much longer do you intend to stay with the witness?
No more than an hour, Your Honour. I understand that yesterday we stopped at about 3:08, 3:09, so I'll not take more than an hour.
Mr. Hooper, looks like the bulk of the cross-examination on the defense side might be yours. How much time so far do you think you might take?
Well, you've indicated that you want this witness concluded today in terms of both defences and re-examination, or re-cross-examination, I suppose, as it would be. And I hope we can achieve that.
Thank you very much. We will go to private session.
We're in open session, Mr. President.
Thank you. Mr. Gessier, are you in a position to assist Mr. Hooper with the question he asked for clarification?
Yes, Your Honour. As to the question of who wrote these reports, the reason...
No, right now, he said documents at tab 1, 2, 3. The source, he can speak in terms of the documents and the source.
Your Honour, they were provided to the prosecution by a prosecution witness. It's person number 1 on the PIS list.
I'm rather concerned if that's is that a full answer from the prosecution? Are they saying that that person is the author? Or could it be, for example, person number 2? Or could it be the present witness? Which of these, perhaps, people do the prosecution suggest is the author?
Mr. Hooper, beyond the question of whether or not it is this witness that is the source of it, do we need to have that concern, your very last concern, cleared up at this moment?
Well, it's merely that it was being suggested, it seemed to me, to this witness that he was the author of the documents.
But does the prosecutor's answer say that, or give a possibility that there is an interpretation in that direction?
Well, the difficulty is that Well, it's not a difficulty. The prosecution know they have a witness statement from someone who says they are the author.
All right, let's leave the discussion now.
Right.
Mr. Garcia, you wanted to put some documents in the record, either as
Yes, indeed, Your Honor.
exhibits or to be marked for identification.
As for as exhibits, Your Honor, the recorded conversation between the witness and another witness, it's at Ken OTP 01150248. That's the audio.
Tab?
That's the audio, and the tab, the transcript is at tab 15, and the translation at tab 14.
Mr. Garcia, may I have the ERN number of the translation, please?
The translation is Ken OTP 01290740, tab 14.
So the first, the parent document, as it were, would be tab 15, is that it?
Tab 15 would be the transcript, and the translation is tab 14. The evidence itself is the audio is at Ken OTP 01150248.
Defense, beginning with the audio.
Objection.
I will not object, Mr. President.
Admitted as the next prosecution exhibit.
Having said that, it's obviously with the reservation as to what may pass on Monday. In fact, I'm just wondering whether these should be entered now, or whether we should have an application on Monday in respect of it.
Well,
It
let's
would be difficult to perhaps undo. If
This does not pertain to the application on Monday.
all right.
Admitted as the next prosecution exhibit.
The document KEN OTP 01150248 will bear the number EVD T OTP 00153.
I'm assuming that the transcript and the translation also follow with that.
Any objection to those going in as well? The transcript and the translation
None, Your Honor.
be admitted in series as the next prosecution exhibits.
The transcript of the audio material bearing number KEN OTP 01290707 R02 will bear the number EVD T OTP 00154. The transcript of the audio material bearing number KEN OTP 01290740 R02 will bear the number EVD T OTP 00155.
I'd also ask for an exhibit number to be given to Ken OTP 01140471.
Tab?
It's the translation is at the transcript is at tab 28. The translation at tab 29. Witness was questioned on this. It's a conversation between a witness and another witness, person number 1 on the PIS.
Sorry, tabs 28 and 29, you say?
That's correct, Your Honor.
I was looking at tab 27, sorry about that. Council?
This does perhaps concern the issues that may be discussed on Monday, and I'd ask that we mark for identification at this stage.
No, this is not issue for Monday. Would be at tab 27. Tab 26.
Your Honor, the 55-2 interview proper starts at tab 21. Actually, it's KenOTP 01300462, and then it continues in tabs 26, 27, 22, 23, and 24.
But what you just introduced is not 28 and 29 are not part of that.
28 and 29, Your Honor, are the controlled conversations, the ones that were recorded between this witness and witness number 1.
Between witnesses and not investigators.
It's not the 55-2 interview, Your
Yes. So let's look at 28 and 29 for now.
Mr. President, I would submit that they fall within what we are to discuss on Monday. As the prosecutor said, these are controlled conversations. They are within the same interview, Mr. President. They are within the same interview. This is a phone call initiated by the prosecution. Yes.
All right, I see the point. Yes, yes. All right, let's hold off on these. Mark for identification if you want to, so we can...
Indeed, Your Honor, or we can just hold off on the tabs concerning the 55-2 and the recorded conversations until Monday, if that suits the Chamber. But at
let us mark them for identification for now, so we have the Monday record in that way.
Indeed.
And after any ruling that may have been made on Monday, then we will revisit
Certainly, Your Honor.
the matter of conversion.
Mr. Garcia, could you please confirm that the ERN number of the transcript and the translation of this transcript are bearing the number KEN OTP 01300610 and KEN OTP 01300563?
Let me just correct that. The transcript is indeed 01300610, and that's at tab 29. And actually that's the translation, and the transcript is at tab 28. And that's 01290760.
The audio document KEN OTP 01140471 will bear the number MFI T OTP 00156. The document KEN OTP 01300610 will bear the number MFI T OTP 00157, and finally the document KEN OTP 01290760 will bear the number MFI T OTP 00158.
I'd also ask as an exhibit the second conversation. It's KEN OTP 01140472. The transcript number is 01290765, and the translation is 01300617.
Counsel?
Tabs 30 and 31, Your Honor.
We have no objection to it being MFI'd, being marked for identification.
We support the Mr. Catwa's application.
Prosecution?
As MFI for the moment, Ken OTP 01140468. And the translation for that, the transcript actually, is found at tab 21, and it's Ken OTP 01300462.
Will be marked for identification.
The document KEN OTP 01140472 will bear the number MFI T OTP 00159. The document KEN OTP 01290765 will bear the number MFI T OTP 00160. The document KEN OTP 01300617 will bear the number MFI T OTP 00161. These three documents are confidential. KEN OTP 01140468 will bear the number MFI T OTP 00162, and finally document KEN OTP 0300462 will bear the number MFI T OTP 00163. These two documents are also confidential.
Also as MFI, Your Honors, Ken OTP 01140469, that is the audio, and the transcripts are Ken OTP 01300478, that's at transcript 26. I'm sorry, tab 26 indeed. Ken OTP 01300507, it's at tab 27. Ken OTP 01300540 at tab 22. Ken OTP 01300563 at tab 23. And Ken OTP 01300566 at tab 24.
Would all be marked for identification.
The document KEN OTP 01140469 will bear the number MFI T OTP 00164. The document KEN OTP 01300478 will bear the number MFI T OTP 00165. The document KEN OTP 01300507 will bear the number MFI T OTP 00166. The document KEN OTP 01300540 will bear the number MFI T OTP 00167. The document KEN OTP 01300563 will bear the number MFI T OTP 00168. And finally, the document KEN OTP 01300566 will bear the number MFI T OTP 00169.
Your Honors, as MFI at tab 1, Ken OTP 00820255. It's one of the documents that was shown to the witness.
Will be marked for identification.
The document KEN OTP 00820255 will bear the number MFI T OTP 00170.
Also MFI, Ken OTP 00820267. It's tab 2, another document that was shown to the witness.
Be marked for identification.
The document KEN OTP 00820267 will bear the number MFI T OTP 00171.
And the last document marked for identification, Ken OTP 00820265. This was the last document that was shown to the witness.
Where is tab?
Tab 3, Your Honor.
Will be marked for identification.
Document KEN OTP 00820265 will bear the number MFI T OTP 00172.
That is all, Your Honors. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It is now 12:20. Witness, Defense Counsel will begin asking you questions. Who goes first? Mr. Hooper? Defense Counsel for Mr. Ruto will begin his cross-examination.
Good afternoon, Mr. Witness.
I'm sorry, Your Honors, to interrupt, but the prosecution didn't get a binder with the documents that the defense is intending to use?
I believe it's with the court officer. There we are.
Mr. Hooper, let's try and put these documents in as soon as we finish using them to avoid these pile-ups.
Well, I think given the time, I'm going to try and put as few as possible in.
Good. So we will begin.
I might not be troubling the registry over much. We may be able to step over some matters. So good afternoon, Mr. Witness.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Now, my name's David Hooper, and as you can see, I'm a lawyer, and I'm representing and asking questions of you on behalf of Mr. Ruto. And Your Honor, for the record, can I just state that Mr. Khan joined us again at 11:30 after the break. I have omitted to mention that. So, Mr. Witness, I'd like you to look, please, and have provided you the statement that you provided the prosecution in November of 2012. I'd like you to be given the hard copy of that, please. And that's at our tab 7 in Your Honour's bundles, prosecution bundles.
Can you also please confirm the ERN number?
Yes, that's KenOTP 00840236.
Okay. The paper copy has been provided to the witness.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Hooper, we are in open session, just to remind you.
Thank you. Now you have that paper copy in front of you, Mr. Witness, and we've already seen this. You now have the advantage of having it in hard copy. You've been through some aspects of this, the prosecution having asked you questions about it, and we can see and remind ourselves it's dated the 11th of November 2012. Now, I'm not concerned at this juncture as to how this statement of yours came into existence, what prompted it or provoked it. We've heard your account. But the essence of what you say, as I understand it, is this: that for the most part, the facts that are contained in this your statement are untrue. Have I understood that correctly?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, I'd like to take you, if I may, to a particular part of this statement. And if you can turn to paragraph 31 of the statement.
Paragraph 31 is in front of the witness.
And I remind myself and you, Mr. Witness, that we are, of course, in public session. So I'm not going to mention names, but all those who need to have that statement in front of them here in the court, the judges, myself, and everybody else here. We're not going to make certain matters in that statement public. But you'll see, of course, that that portion of your statement, which is at page 6, and runs from paragraph 31 through to 36, deals with a meeting on the 22nd of December of 2007, and we can see in paragraph 31, as you've already been referred to, where that meeting took place. You see that. And turning to paragraph 34, you then refer to a second meeting in the same place, on the same day, in someone's home. And that person, and I'm just looking at the first sentence of paragraph 34, you say there in the statement that it was announced that there was to be an ODM rally on the 23rd of December in Eldoret at Kipchoge Stadium. We all see that, and you agree that that is what is written there, isn't it?
Yes, Your Honor.
And of course, just pausing there, you've said, well, that meeting didn't take place, or those meetings didn't take place on the 22nd of December. You've told us that already. I'm not going to go through that again with you. So the next day, being the 23rd of December, I want to take you now to the matters you have under that heading of Rally, 23rd of December 2007, in paragraphs 37 down to and through the next page. Just look at that and remind yourself. And let's just go through matters which I think can be safely said in public, because they won't be identifying. That you, on the 23rd of December 2007, looking at paragraph 37 with me, please, you say you left your house at about 8:30 in the morning. And you go to, I think it's location 4. You left there about 10 o'clock. You took public transport. You get to Eldoret. You go to Kipchoge Stadium. You say you went by yourself to see with your own eyes, because you had a certain activity. I'm not going to mention the nature of that activity. We can see that. And it would be useful to get information so that you could make a report. And indeed, you say you did later make a report to a particular organisation. Paragraph 38, you say the stadium was full with people from different tribes.
Mr. Hooper,
yes?
hold your question, please. When you made reference to location 4, that was in the OTPPIS, isn't it?
Yes. Yes, it is. I'm trying to keep to the same documents as we had.
It makes sense. It makes a lot of sense to do it that way. So you will not be, you don't have your own PIS.
I have one in my back pocket, but again, I thought it would be saving time if I try to limit myself to the locations in the way that they've been expressed.
Not only does it save time, it also makes more sense, so we don't have different locations indicated in different people's PIs numbered differently. Proceed. I just wanted to clear on the record. Yes.
Thank you very much. So coming back to that, there you are in Kipchoge Stadium, and you're describing how it was full with people from different tribes, but mostly Kalenjin. And among the VIPs, you described there how you recognized Mr. Ruto, Mr. Nyaga, N-Y-A-G-A-H, Kikuyu, you have in brackets, from Central Province, Tuju, T-U-J-U, Luya, from Western Province, and Mr. Raila Odinga. Yes. Mr. Tuju is not someone I think we've met. Would that be Raphael Tuju that you say you saw? A Luo?
Yes, Your Honor.
I mean, that's as it's put in this statement. And then you go on that while you're at the stadium, you heard 3 speakers. Mr. Ruto, Mr. Odinga, and Mr. Nyaga. And you repeat or have there some things that Mr. Ruto said. We can see there We needed to vote as a bloc against the Kamama, which means our uncles. He used the term Kiplamet, which means people who wear the white hat or have white hair. Something I'm probably qualifying for, I suspect. Anyway, it goes on that you say, I took this to mean Kikuyu. Go on to say some other things that were said. Over the page, paragraph 41, Nyaga, who you previously identified as Kikuyu, is, you say, telling the Kikuyu to, quote, to lie low and vote the way the Rift Valley wants. You say at 42 that Mr. Odinga spoke and said that if the PNU steals the election, we will mobilize 1 million people to march to the State House. So that is the account that you gave, or I should say the account that we find in your statement. And again, I'm not concerned to ask you how that came to be written down and in the statement you signed. I'm not concerned with that this morning. Now, if we move on, and I'll come back to these matters, but if we move on for completeness now to paragraph 44, we have it headed, Meeting at Ruto's Sugoi home, 23rd of December 2007. And you describe how after the rally you attended a meeting at Ruto's house. And that the primary reason you went is that you wanted to know what he would say. You were let in. You describe some aspects of the house. And you say this big meeting was held in a room, page 45, paragraph 45. There were chairs inside the room where the meeting was held. You go on to say that the meeting included male youths from different areas, perhaps 400 to 500. They appear to be Kalenjin, and you name a lot of names. Paragraph 47, that the meeting started at 9 p.m. and that several people left the room, including Mr. Ruto, and then in their absence, in his absence, Mang Kibet, called Kibet, said certain things. And that's your account for that day, the 23rd of December. Now, you told us that all that is untrue. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So we have, though, a clear statement there that on the 22nd of December you're told of the Kipchoge Stadium rally. You yourself go to the Kipchoge Stadium rally the next day, and having left the stadium, you made your way to Mr. Ruto's home. That's what appears in the statement, isn't it?
Yes, Your Honor, that's what is in the statement.
All right. Now, I'm going to deal with this, I hope, quickly by stepping over some matters that we've already met here in this court. But those are, Mr. Witness, briefly as follows. We know that on the 19th of August there was an ODM rally at the 64 Stadium in Eldoret, where Mr. Ruto, Mr. Odinga, Mr. Balala and Mr. Nyaga were all present. I say that, we've seen the videos, and those are in evidence. That's EVD TD09-0073, Defence Exhibit 73. We've seen it. I'm not going to bother you with it, Mr. Witness. We know that there, and also that rally is now admitted by the prosecution.
Witness, when counsel say we know, it means they on the defense side, because the chamber has not yet made a finding on these things. Sometimes some of these propositions that lawyers, both for the prosecution and the defense, may be stating to you are matters that the opposite side disputes, and we will have arguments and make findings on that. So keep that in mind when counsel says we know.
I may have said it in that way, but we're assisted by, in that particular case, 19th of August, 64 Stadium, ODM rally, those participants, the prosecution have agreed that. We've had a email correspondence and they've agreed that fact. Similarly, has been agreed as between the parties on the 10th of November 2007. Again, 64 Stadium, ODM rally, with Mr. Ruto, Mr. Odinga, Mr. Mudavadi, and Charity Ngulu, you may recall, had then joined the Pentagon. And we saw videos of that. I'll just mention one, the main one, EVD T-D09-0078, Defence Exhibit 78. And we've also seen a video and received documentation in the case presented by the defence of an ODM rally on the 20th of December. That's the 20th December, which is significant for our conversation this morning, Mr. Witness. So that's the 20th of December, a rally held at Huruma grounds. And we may recall we had a prosecution witness who, in fact, claimed to be there on that day and identified the video, and that's been admitted too. That's I say admitted, the exhibit's been admitted. That's EVD-T-D09-00062. And we've seen part of that with Mr. Ruto and Mr. Odinga speaking. Big mass of people, Huruma grounds. Now, I was going to play that, but given the time, I'd be assisted by Your Honours as to whether, given it's some time since we showed that to you, you may not have it in mind, whether you'd feel you'd be assisted by seeing the Huruma grounds 20th of December rally video and documentation in support of the date. It's the 20th of December. We've seen it before. Would you like the opportunity of seeing it again?
You're asking the witness questions. What are we?
I'm actually now asking Your Honours. Asking Your Honours whether Your Honours would feel assisted by seeing the Huruma grounds. I think we could probably share it quite easily. Let's see it. I'd intended to share it, so let's play that. So, Mr. Witness, we're just going to show you a brief video of a meeting that took place, we say, on the 20th of December in a place called Huruma Grounds there in Eldoret. So,
7 days to go and Raila Odinga and Pentagon member William Ruto were in Kabarnet, home to former President Moi. And it was a day after Moi, hosted President Kibaki in the same Kabarnet show grounds. Here, Raila knew exactly what to say.
Jana Kibaki alikuwa hapa, sio? Alikuwa hapa. Aliomba kura. Alikaribishwa na nani? Na nani?
Watu wa PNU wawache kutumia mzee Moi. Mzee Moi si mtu ya PNU, ni wetu. Kweli ama si kweli? We are telling the PNU characters not to misuse the former president. Giving him, the former president has been assigned petty errands to go around shopping centers asking for votes. That is not an assignment befitting a former head of state. We want Moi to play in the league of Mandela and other renowned people. But the climax of the North Rift tour.
I just want to clarify a matter, and that is we're showing the complete clip, Mr. Witness and Your Honours, and what we've just seen is in fact a meeting the same day at Cabinet, which is northwest of Eldoret, and now we're going to see the later part of that day with this meeting at Huruma Grounds.
Which saw them visit 4 different places was Huruma Grounds in Eldoret town. Raila told the people here that he would be more than happy if they elected ODM candidates from bottom to top in what is commonly known as 3Ps.
Chungwa chini, chungwa katikati, na chungwa juu. Sasa 3Ps tu.
Those who may have been involved in corruption in the past were put on notice here, with Raila saying that the law will take its course.
Mimi grupu hiyo yote najua wale watu wa Goldenberg na Wangolisi sitawalinda kisheria, nitawacha sheria ifanye kazi yao, wapeleke mahakamani na wajibu na ile mali yetu ambayo wameiba warudishe nyingine kwa wananchi wa Kenya.
He said his government will ensure that civil servants are well taken care of.
Nitahakikisha kwamba watumishi wa umma wetu, walimu, askari polisi, watumishi wa umma wote wamepata haki yao kulingana na sheria ya nchi yetu.
Pentagon member William Ruto claimed that government was plotting to rig election, but they will fail, he said.
Haki anaenda nyumbani kwa sababu ameshindwa. Sawa sawa? Ile kitu wanategemea sasa ati ni kuiba kura. Sisi tunawaambia wale wanapanga njama ya kuiba kura, tumewakundua tayari. Hakuna kura wataiba kwa sababu tuko macho.
Vijana kwa kila mtu tupige kura 100%.
The North Rift tour was very special in all means because for the first time, Raila Odinga came out openly telling Kenyans to elect ODM candidates in what is known as 3Ps voting. Rashid Ronald, NTV, Eldoret.
All right, I'm not going to produce the ancillary material relating to newspapers and the like that were published the next day. There's the 20th of December. So, witness, you've seen that. I'm not asking you to comment on it. It is what we've seen. Now, in your statement, a statement that you say is untrue, you have a meeting, of course, as we've been through in your statement, in Eldoret, ODM meeting, with the principal players of the ODM attending, on the 23rd of December. It's my case, our case, that there was no ODM meeting in Eldoret on the 23rd of December. It's our case that there never was a meeting, a political meeting, at Kipchoge Stadium. So we make that position quite clear. In other words, we support what you say when you say that what you said there about events going from location 4 to Eldoret, to Kipchoge Stadium, to hearing ODM people speaking, and to you then going on afterwards to Mr. Ruto's Sugoi home, those facts are all demonstrably untrue. Now, in terms of the 23rd...
Is that a question, Mr. Hooper, for the witness to answer?
I don't need him to answer it or not. He's said
Right.
it's untrue.
The reason I say that is let's save what is best left for submissions to that, so that
Yes.
we can move on with the process.
It's so that it's absolutely plain. You understand what I'm saying, Mr. Witness, do you?
Mr. Hooper, we can move on.
I didn't get an answer. Mr. Witness, you've understood what I've said about this meeting that you claim took place at Kipchoge Stadium, that it never, ever took place. Do you agree with that? Are you in a position to agree with that?
Yes, Your Honor.
And it would follow that you were never told the day before that there'd be a meeting at Kipchoge Stadium. Do you agree with that?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you would never have been in a position to travel from Kipchoge Stadium on the 23rd of December, or any other day, to travel from Kipchoge Stadium to Mr. Ruto's Sugoi home. Do you agree with that?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what I submit it comes to is that the heart of your statement concerning Mr. Ruto is all lies, isn't it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, you've said that it was the prosecution investigator who gave you all this material to write down in your statement. That's your account in any event, isn't it?
Yes, Your Honor.
And I'm not seeking to make any comment at the moment about that. I'm going to ask you, though, in this context, about individual on the PIS form, who's individual number 1. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yes, Your Honor.
Would it surprise you to know that he made a statement to the prosecution before you made your statement, where he too said that he went to a political rally at Kipchoge Stadium in Eldoret on the 23rd of December 2007? Would that surprise you? That he too went to a non-existent rally and he speaks of Mr. Ruto and Mr. Mudavadi and Mr. Odinga and Mr. Nyaga and speaks about that. It's a strange coincidence, I suggest. Was it perhaps Mr. Number 1 who discussed with you and put forward this fictitious event? Was it his idea or not?
Your Honor, we never discussed anything with number one.
Now, I'm going to ask to go into private session for a moment in order just to raise one matter.
How long?
Literally, just a few seconds.
Private session.
We're in open session, Mr. President.
I'm not going to dwell very much on your statement. You still have it in front of you, so can I please request that you pick it up again? And I'm looking at your paragraph 50, which is under the heading 26th of December 2007 at Brookside. And you've been taken to that already by Mr. Garcia. The principal part of your statements relating of events is at paragraph 54 onwards. You may remember paragraph 53, you were taken to that bit where it said, on the way to Brookside, I saw two members of a certain organisation with the DC. And that's your event that you say in your statement. You go to Eldoret, you go to the Brookside Dairy, you witness events there, and then people leave the dairy and they go to Tusk's, a supermarket in Eldoret, and then they go on, you say, to the police station. That's the order of events. And in fact, it's Tusk's supermarket in Eldoret. Anyway, so there's the ordering of event. You go to Eldoret, you go to the dairy, events at the dairy, march to Tusk's, go to the police station, and that's the conclusion of those events. Now, that's the order you have them there, and you've told us that, in fact, you didn't go to Eldoret on the 26th of December, and you didn't witness any events concerning the Brookside Dairy. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor. I was at home.
And indeed, as we've heard and will hear from other witnesses, prosecution witnesses, perhaps, that events were rather in the reverse, that it started at the police station, and then the crowd looking for these ballot boxes went to the dairy. Quite a reverse position. So that again would support, if that's right, if that was the true order of things, and you've got it quite the other way round, perhaps that goes again to support what you say, that what you say here is untrue because you didn't witness it. Do you understand what I say?
That's argumentative, and it's an extremely long question for the witness to respond to.
Objection sustained on both counts?
In any event, Mr. Witness, you claim that you never were at Brookside Dairy and that what you've said there was a fabrication. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm going to jump to a different area. I'm going to leave your statement, if I may. Before I do that, I'm pressing on even quicker than I should. Dealing with the 23rd of December, we have a statement which you, the witness, say was untrue, namely that there was a big ODM meeting in Eldoret on that day at the Kipchoge Stadium. I'm just going to ask that a video be played in the run-up to the luncheon adjournment, and this video will show other and different events which supports the defence case, we say, that Mr. Ruto was nowhere near Eldoret, nor were the Pentagon. They were all busy doing the final assault, as it were, on Western Province. And we'll play that video, if we may, in respect of that.
Raila Odinga and Pentagon members at Muliro Gardens in Kakamega town. Raila claimed that there were plans by government to rig Thursday's polls. Police officers, he alleged, are at the center of the scheme.
Nimeandika barua kwa Bwana Kibaki mwenyewe. Nimwambia yeye akanushe au akubali dai hizi ya kwamba maofisa yake wanafanya njama ya kuiba kura.
Leo tumepata kopi ya signal wametuma kutoka Nairobi, signal ya kusema kwamba ati askari wawe wakienda kula, si ndio? Wamekusanywa kila pahali, ati watumie kuiba kura,
Once again, he was calling on Kenyans to give him enough soldiers by voting in ODM candidates.
Mkipigia mimi kura kama rais, mweke mimi kama jamidari, mnipatie mimi wanajeshi.
Pentagon members once again appealed to Kenyans to give their man a chance, saying that is the best the country has not had.
Akipewa kura ni Raila anatupatia Wakenya wote, atukomboe, atatukomboa kwa umaskini, kwa vile tumeumia maumizi yote tumepata nchi yetu ya Kenya, tutakuwa na amani.
Mwaka huu ni mwaka muhimu sana kwa mwananchi wa kawaida hapa mashinani, kwa sababu tunataka kubadilisha vile Kenya inaendeshwa.
The real change is now, and this change is about a generational change. Kenya will never be the same with the leadership of Raila Odinga.
Earlier, Raila toured Bungoma town, where he also asked residents here to vote for change. He will also tour Butula, Funyula and Busia. In Budalangi, Raila promised that his government will contain perennial floods in the region, among many things.
Maji inaleta shida hapa kila mwaka. Kukinyesha kule juu, moto inakuja na fujo, na inakuja na furika hapa. Inaharibu manyumboma, inaua ng'ombe, mbuzi, kuku na kila kizio. Hii maji mto.
Mr. Hooper, do you need to put your question now, or do you need to have this video continue playing? We will adjourn.
I think there's very much left of it, actually, is there? No, I think I'll review that over the luncheon adjournment, and I should mention that it's at tab 9 of the defence bundle, the translation. It's not particularly essential. You look at it, but it's there, a full translation of what is said in other than English, of course.
But was a question to the witness?
I'll come back to that, if I may, after the break.
All right. We'll take our lunch break now. We'll be back in 1.5 hours.
All rise.